I know why. Because I was not in their party, Dominique. Power weapon, melee, rocket, launcher, grenade, falling with precision, vex, finisher, bow. Testing, testing. Testing, 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 testing. Test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test, test.
And why aren't you in uniform?
Where I'm going with this is guns. Because out here in the middle of nowhere.
Just shoot the bear? Is this
No,
how this ends?
Okay. No, but that's where I'm going. The point I'm making is to wrap up the other thing we're talking about music and freedom. My attitude is I will not go to these venues in New York. Jack Murphy, a good friend of ours, and end of the show, he's been doing these events, and he said we're going to do ours on the other side of the river because they've got vaccine mandates in New York, and we can do it at a venue with that one. I believe maybe you can't play a stadium because they're all mandating it, but stand up for something. So for us, we have this space, and we can do almost anything. So we'll have a shooting range, and we're going to be putting on concerts, and we're going to be hosting events where we can just say, screw it. There's also PorcFest up in New Hampshire that has, it's all about freedom, and they've got the Free State Project.
A bunch of Bitcoin conferences. There's a bunch of free festivals. There's a bunch of people coming together. There is a mass awakening with protests happening all over the world in huge record numbers that are absolutely incredible to see, filling the streets for blocks on down. And I just had this idea randomly, Tim. I think we should do a parody of the Blair Witch Project. We go to the woods that they filmed it in, but we have firearms, so if someone messes with us, we just shoot them, and then that's the end of the movie. It's like, okay, that's what happens when you're armed. You're able to defend yourself, and no one's able to hurt you or kill you.
Right, we wouldn't have had a 2-hour terrifying movie.
It'll be like 2 minutes long. They're like, oh, we're walking in the woods. Oh, there's someone trying to hurt us.
Trying to kill him.
It'll be like that famous scene from the movie where Luke's got the camera pointed up his nose, and he's like looking around, and he goes, I think
You need a wide cam for that one.
He's got a wide cam, and then he's like, I hear something. Tim, did you hear that? Who was there? And then Luke goes, hold on. And then he just unholsters his sidearm, and he's like, don't move. He's armed. Don't move. Don't make me. Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. He's running away. All right, anyway, what were we talking about, Tim? You were telling me a joke? Moving on from that, I'm curious about, you're probably pro 2A across the board.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's talk about guns.
The thing is, I know people who never even owned a gun who are now, they have guns, they've got ammo, they're stocking up. I mean, what's happened the last couple of years has woken up a lot of people. And I'm not only, my whole family knows how to, shoot and all of that. We do, target practice outside and at our gun club. But I think it's imperative to have the Second Amendment. The only thing keeping us America and free right now is our Second Amendment.
I was going to
It's
ask
most
you,
important.
where on the Republican political spectrum are you? Are you in the Mitt Romney authoritarian statist sector, or are you in the Ron Paul, I believe in freedom sector?
Can you
Where
have that sword over there, somebody?
on what level are you?
Let me just put it this way. I'm endorsed by America
Let's
First.
say Ron Paul is 100, Mitt Romney is a 0 on the freedom scale. What's your number?
I'm 100.
Okay.
I'm 100. I'm a Trump Republican, as I like to say. I'm endorsed by President Trump, proud of that, by Congressman Gosar, by Rick Grinnell, Michael Flynn, Mike Lindell, one of my favorite patriots. So I have the America First movement firmly
Well,
behind
Trump,
me.
I would say was like my opinion, my perspective, like 45, 35. I mean, he did the bump stock ban. He made a lot of incredulous moves against the Second Amendment, personally.
Oh,
myself.
you were talking only on the Second
No,
Amendment.
in freedom,
Okay.
just freedom in general.
I am 100% pro 2A, and as I say, my stance on it is shall not be infringed. I will never sign any legislation that would infringe whatsoever
Now,
on
will
Second
you
Amendment.
work towards repealing unconstitutional gun laws?
Absolutely.
That's
But I think people think, they go, oh, the governor has all the power to do everything. You have to have legislators working with you. This is how the system works. So we'd have to, and Arizona is a very free state when it comes to Second Amendment. I think is probably the most free. We've had open carry. Texas didn't even have open carry until last year.
But, right. Lauren Boebert's Arizona, isn't she?
No,
Or no? She's Colorado.
Is she Colorado?
Yeah. Okay. That was. Yeah.
What about heavy weapons?
Heavy weapons.
How do you feel like how powerful a weapon do you think it should be legal for someone to carry?
Are you actually asking like Joe Biden saying you need to have fighter jets if you're really going to take on the?
Yeah, like because people used to
And
be
then
able
losing to the
to
Taliban
own
next week.
own warships. This is some Tim quotes from time to time. People could
nuclear-
own warships under the Second Amendment, like privateers, and then the government would conscript them to go fight for them. But like private citizens could own warships. So should a private citizen be able to own a small nuclear device, nuclear bomb,
I'm
rocket launchers?
not for nuclear weapons. I'm not for private
What
citizens.
about rocket launchers?
Tough questions. huh?
These are tough questions. I don't think.
I
I am for there's probably any weapon that any gun. I mean, I'm pro 2A, so
I don't know.
rocket launcher.
It's
I want
weapons
to
keep getting more powerful, so it's important to debate.
Is a rocket launcher a firearm?
Definitely, it's a ballistic.
Right to bear arms.
By it is arms. And so this is an issue. My attitude is private citizens should be allowed to own rocket launchers. Private citizens should be allowed to own bazookas.
Well, if you read the Second Amendment, it talks about, it's not about hunting and it's not about target shooting.
Right.
It's about protecting against tyranny.
Which, well, it's about protecting everything. A free state, requires the people to. I'm not quoting something, but I'm saying it says, who can you verbatim?
Well, it's a well-armed militia and
I want to.
Yeah, we're all.
I want to read it specifically.
Okay, I'll read it to you if you need it, right here.
A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The reason I want to get it verbatim is that securing a free state. What does that mean? Well, can you have a free state if a bunch of bears attack your city? No, of course not. So it's not about one thing, it's about everything. And so there's been a lot of people who have said it's specifically about when your government becomes tyrannical. And I'm like, no. It's not specifically about that. It does include that. It's also about if a foreign adversary seeks to invade your country and everyone's armed to the teeth and they're like, there's a gun behind
Or if
everyone in the
a
grass.
foreign corporation hijacks your monetary supply and prints your economy into oblivion, that's threatening the security of your free state right there.
What happens if someone comes to your door and tries to pull your family out and put you in a quarantine camp?
Oh yeah, that's when things go real dark.
And this is, well, and I think this is why the difference between Australia, there's a million differences, and America, and I think this is why we haven't had more strong restrictions placed against us. Because, especially in a state like Arizona, behind any door, someone might have a gun, probably does.
You can see it in the way the Australian cops move too. They have no fear.
No fear.
Yeah.
And what people need to understand, it's not an issue of assuming that Australians would be running out the door and just firing wildly. It's like Ian mentioned, it's the fear. When the police broke down the door of Breonna Taylor's house, you know the story about Breonna Taylor? Her boyfriend fired a round in the direction of the door, striking a police officer in the leg. That was ruled justified, and the charges were dropped, because if you break in someone's door, they could be armed. Police in America know this. And that means regardless of what the law is, they have to contend with the fact there's an armed population. It doesn't mean that there's going to be a bunch of right-wing nut jobs taking over with guns everywhere and screaming. And, you know, when the government does something wrong, it means the government is scared to make certain moves, because it's not about whether or not there's an armed militia showing up at your door and saying, we hereby declare. It's about the fact that you tried to enforce a red flag law. This happened, I think it was in Maryland, and the guy showed up with a gun, fought the cops, and the cops had to shoot and kill him. The police understand that when you go to a door, you're not going to get someone saying, okay, you might get a crazy person, or not even a crazy person, a scared person. Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, who just said, someone's breaking into my home, fired, hit the cop in the leg. Hey, that's America, baby. In Australia, again, like Ian said, the cops are fearless. They know they have nothing to worry about. There's a video out of Australia where they kick the door and they walk in, start grabbing people, throwing them around. I'm like, that can't happen here in America to the same degree. Certainly there are no knock warrants.
It will never happen.
And there are cops breaking into people's
Maybe in
houses.
certain
They were
states
breaking
where-
into businesses a few months ago and shutting them down.
But not like that, and not.
Yeah,
to
like
armed
that.
people.
Yeah, like that. There was video
What
footage.
state- where was
There's
that?
video- there's- I remember seeing video footage in New Jersey. There was a lady who was in her own private shop doing her own thing, and she was making baskets, I believe, if I believe the story was correctly coming off fresh off my mind. Police officers literally broke down her door because she was open at her place of business by herself and told her shut down immediately.
in New
Well,
Jersey.
in North Jersey, a woman, they closed everyone's businesses and said, you're shut down, end of story. So she started live streaming on Facebook. If you want to buy any of my products, here's what I have. The police showed up, and they said, ma'am, you need to shut your store down. And she said, what are you talking about? It is shut down. I'm closed. And they go, no, you're posting things online. So these things do happen.
Yeah, like I said,
And-
not like that. I mean, not to the scale that it's.
No. Ian, you're still right. New Jersey has possibly the strictest gun laws in the country. You can barely even get a gun in New Jersey, and if you can, there's crazy rules, and I'm pretty sure you can't have a weapon in your place of business. I could be wrong, unless you are like a security guard and you've got special certification. It is difficult and annoying, and so the police in New Jersey are substantially less worried about kicking
This is
someone's
why
door
it's so
in.
important to vote for the right people.
Oh, yeah.
This kind of stuff would not happen in Arizona, although our governor shut the state down twice.
What was your take on 80 House Republicans yesterday voting for a national registry of people who were vaccinated? One of those people was, what's that Republican's name with Dan Crenshaw. Dan Crenshaw and 80 House Republicans all voted for this. How would you vote on this particular issue when it comes to a federal registry of people who are vaccinated? And what's your response to
Well,
Dan
again,
Crenshaw
again,
voting for it?
You know, Dan Crenshaw used to be a really big hero, and in some ways I think he is a hero. I mean, he served our country valiantly, and I think he's a great guy, but some of the things he's done politically I find alarming. That being one of them. That is a terrible idea. Now, I'm running for governor, I'm not running for Congress, and so this is something that would be handled at the federal level.
Of course, yeah.
I am not
Governor's
for
more,
that.
governor's more important.
I'm not for that.
Because as a governor, you have the authority to say, we're not going to give you the database. We're not going to give you the information or the data. Would you comply as a governor if there was a federal vaccine
I believe our
registry?
governor did comply with that. In order to get the federal money, you had to agree to a bunch of stuff.
New Hampshire was one of the states that actually declined the money as a state. Would you be willing to do the same thing as governor?
I would be.
Well, how
If
much
it means we're gonna give out, well, here's the deal, we did get a lot of money for it, and then they say it's for COVID relief. But not if I'm gonna have to give up my citizens, our citizens, my fellow citizens, information, private information.
I'm impressed. I was expecting you to dance around that answer, because that's a tough one, right?
Well, I mean, look where it's getting us. We keep complying with the federal government and all the things they want, and look where we are right now. We're no more closer to having our freedom back. And when do we stop and say enough is enough? We're not gonna comply anymore, we're gonna get off the federal teat, take your money and shove it, or give us the money, but we're gonna spend it the way we wanna spend it. We're not gonna do this, that, and the other with your money.
This is why I said governor is more important. A lot of people pointed out that if Ron DeSantis were to run in 2024, Florida would lose a very powerful voice who's doing the right thing for the citizens. And so he's better working in Florida because he's created a safe haven essentially for people. They're flocking to Florida like crazy, buying up property like crazy. Why? Freedom.
Yeah.
Monoclonal antibodies for free for people who are sick. Lowest COVID cases. The economy reopened a while back. And Ron
You go
DeSantis.
there and you don't even realize there's any there aren't any restrictions. You're living free, and that's what Arizona's going to be.
So I tell people too, especially with the legislatures in the states, if you keep thinking the federal government is your path to fixing your problems, you are incorrect. Ron DeSantis has proven that. Abbott, to a certain degree, he's not perfect. We'll see if
He's coming around.
Yeah, maybe Ellen West will win because he'll go, he'll go much more like Ron DeSantis. And then when it comes to a potential convention of states, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, changes can be made if at the state level people vote for, and we mentioned this across the board, and also to this point, district attorneys,
Very important.
big issue. But I think
And county attorneys and sheriffs. I mean, we just have to be educated where we're going. We have to be educated, and I believe in the America First movement, and we're going to look at who's funding these people, who are their consultants. People are waking up to it, and you mentioned some people who are still asleep, like the person you talked about earlier.
a friend of mine.
Yeah, and we're not going to name names, but who's just completely unaware of anything. But I think a lot of people are waking up who were never involved in politics. We're seeing it when we do events. We have a movement afoot in Arizona. We do events that thousands of people come out to. We do rallies and all kinds of rallies, and people come up to me and say, "I am embarrassed to say this, but I've never voted before. And I'm whatever age, 50-something, and I'm voting. I'm so worried about where this country. I've never been politically involved, but I know who's running, who their consultants are, what's behind them, what they believe in. So there's a lot of exciting things happening. I'm actually very hopeful for the future.
I was at a Trump rally in Fort Lauderdale back in 2016, and every single person that I talked to had said, like, I'm either independent or I've not voted before. And I was like, you're at a Republican rally, and they were like, Trump's different. It's, a lot of these people felt like Mitt Romney, like you saw the disdain that this Luke Rudkowski has for the Mitt Romneys of this country. But Trump supporters do too. They despise him.
I do too. And Jeff Flake and John McCain. I mean, we saw a lot of that rhino, and we have that in Arizona. We have a deep, deep swamp in Arizona. And, people go, don't say rhinos. Well, that's what they are.
Actually, I disagree. I think you're the rhino.
I think I'm the rhino.
You know what I mean by that?
What?
That the establishment, the Republican Party, has always been this feckless, weak, and in my opinion, well, ineffective. And what's happened now is a bunch of people like Trump, like DeSantis, and like you have come in under the umbrella of Republican, representing something with principle. And that's why I say, I think you don't want to.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
I'm a conservative running. I'm a conservative running as a Republican.
Exactly.
Because the Republican Party, I do believe, is the party of Trump. It's the Trump Republican Party.
Now it is.
And that is America first. And, I talk to people who are establishment, and I believe I can bring people together. I was a Republican looking from the outside in before I became a politician, thinking that the party, we had the rhinos and all of that, but I thought the party was more congealed and together. Now that I'm running, I realize it's so fractured. And I believe we can bring this party together, but the establishment has to realize America First is here to stay. And they should love that. We brought people off the sidelines, people who, you mentioned at the Trump rally, that I've seen at our rallies who've never voted before.
But this is what I mean, basically. When I see a ton of people who are not Republicans, who are joining the Republicans, but not because of Mitt Romney is what I think of when I think of Republican.
He repels people from the party.
And it is an elitist, corporatist, anti-American. The Koch brothers were all about the open borders and, bringing in cheap labor to exploit. Even Bernie Sanders opposed it. Trump was not like the rest of them when he came in. So he was a Republican, but just in name, he represented something new. So to be fair, I would say now the party has become the party of Trump, and now that is what it means to be Republican. So now I would say I understand when you refer to McCain and these individuals as rhinos, it's because they're the people who don't actually represent the voter base, those who are joining the party and those who are stepping up.
It's huge what's happening, though. I mean, it is so huge what's happening. It's very exciting. We go to events, and they say, "Oh, can you come speak at this Republican group or wherever we go?" And they call us a couple weeks later, and they say, "We need to move the location. We usually get 30 people. We have 130." And this is what we're seeing everywhere we go. People are off the sidelines. They're very excited about our campaign, and we have a movement. We have more volunteers than any other campaign in the country right now. It took us only 3 weeks to get our signatures to get on the ballot. It usually takes, to put that in perspective, and I'm new to politics, so I'm like, okay, 3 weeks, why did it take us 3 weeks? And they say, Carrie, no, you don't understand. It normally takes candidates 9 months to get them, and they have to pay for them, and sometimes they don't get them at all. You got your signatures in 3 weeks. It's never been done in the history of Arizona.
Well, I mean, is
So
any,
people are excited.
when's the election for Arizona?
August 2nd, that's the primary.
So of next year.
Yeah.
You're getting a head start on.
We've been running since June 1st, and we've been running like it was October of 22. My staff jokes, it's like we're running like it's the last month leading up to the general election.
Do you have a show? Sorry to interrupt, but do you have like a talk show? You'd be great.
No, I need one.
Yeah, a weekly talk
I've
show.
You're on
actually-
TV for 3 decades.
I've thought about doing a podcast, so
keep
this is
yourself-
really interesting to watch,
Yeah.
but I thought it was easier than this. I thought with just me and a camera and you would bring somebody else in, but this is quite a
Well, it's the best way to do it because it's not scripted. You talk from your heart. You don't talk from talking points. There's nothing scripted here.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to watch live, you can check out this channel Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you want more unfiltered and uncensored content with all of these guests, go to timcast.com and become a member. All of these guests you know and love in exclusive segments on our website where we are unrestricted in what we talk about, so you'll definitely not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all next time.
Yeah. And that one there will be fine. Will be fine. Testing. 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 Hello? Testing. 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 Hello? actually have an Atheon at checkpoint. Yeah. I was just gonna say. Yeah, I know it's easy. I was just gonna say. I thought it was an Atheon checkpoint. And I'm like, okay. Yes, now I gotta switch my loadout. I actually have an Atheon at checkpoint. Yeah. I was just gonna say. Yeah, I know it's easy. You better take some time. I gotta switch. Get some. People can't pay attention. Am I defending the plate or going in a portal? That's not like a very deep question to ask. Yeah, that's the way we usually do it. It's just one person. It's just. Do you want me in the rotation team, or do you want me just to defend the portal? Plate. Okay. It don't matter to me. I can do either or. I just gotta, change my super RAM. Cause I'm on my Titan. I can switch to my Warlock if we have to. How many Titans do you have? Well, if you got a well, you don't even have to worry about it. Just saying. Because my guys don't even use the bubble anymore. We just pair it with a well. Yeah, we usually. I've never one phased. I was switching my loadout, so that means I'm in the rotation team. That's what I'm saying, right? Good, so I can stick with that. No, I can. That sounds about I don't have no ammo. Am I going Mars or Venus? Oh, okay, I'm. Yeah. So I'm picking up, coming out. Yeah. LG. I ain't got. Hang on. Yeah, if we fail, it's because of me. I ain't got no special. That's the trick. For my blinding grenades. And I'm on the wrong super. Oh shit. Did all that shit. I'm down. I got twisted up. No. Yeah, I got a little twisted up there in the deep end. Alright, I'm over here to drop. How much time you got? I'm coming. I can't stop this overload. Yeah. It's a wipe. It's my fault. Well, get the reboot. I've got a checkpoint on my Warlock. And on my Titan. No, my Hunter. My guys. Yeah, damn, they're gonna kick us out of the game anyway. So my checkpoint will be gone. Oh God, y'all gonna really screw me up. I tell you what. You guys got enough people who know how to do that call out? Right. Yeah, I got you. But see, I got a head injury, and y'all throwing something at me that. We only call front, middle, back, middle. We call front, middle, or front, left. Right. That's what we do. We just call the first two. Oh, when they do that, my guy's like, you didn't hear it. That's on you. Flag. I mean, I can do it. It's just it's going to be rough on me, especially since I'm learning a different way. And it's going to be a little. Change. That's fine. Make sure I am on right. Super. Got that. Yeah, that's the way we do it. Yeah. Right there in front of the portal. Y'all shoot the six out of the sky? Yeah. I usually get them all, and I leave that one up on the right. I know. I figured out the rhythm, the pattern on them. I got Relic. Venus. I got you. I missed you the first time. My fault. I mean, I don't have to get relic if you don't want it.